And as we said, one of those states is Pennsylvania, where the Boeing company builds the Osprey's fuselage at its plant in Ridley Township. That's Congressman Curt Weldon's district, and no one has been a fiercer supporter of the Osprey.
I flew in the first V-22 that we delivered to the Pentagon with the Commandant, and it's an amazing aircraft. It stops dead and then takes off in midair like a dragster. Yeah.
Weldon is on the House Armed Services Committee, where his #1 priority has been to protect the Osprey and the 1,500 jobs it brings to his district.
How many Ospreys have flown?
I don't know the total number.
15.
Probably 15.
How many have crashed? 4. That's 25% of all of the Ospreys, at a cost so far of $12 billion.
Are you familiar with the F-14?
What we're talking about...
But let me talk about, let's make a comparison. The F-14 program is the workhorse of the Navy.
Yeah.
Do you know the first 8 of 11 F-14s crashed? The first 8 that we built?
Killing how many people?
Probably scores of people.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that we're pushing the envelope of technology. When you push the envelope, there is risk associated that you have to attempt to deal with. Now, would we like to eliminate that totally? Absolutely. But I am convinced that this aircraft does not have a technology problem.
But some others are not as convinced. The General Accounting Office has been highly critical of the Osprey, and the Pentagon's Inspector General has cited 22 major deficiencies that should be fixed before the plane can go into full production. But no one has raised more questions about the aircraft than Phil Coyle, Chief of Testing and Evaluation for all the Pentagon's weapons systems. In a recent report on the Osprey, Coyle warned that the aircraft was not operationally suitable and that follow-on testing must be conducted.
He's on the record as saying this: unless the testing issues are ironed out and corrected, those issues will impose an unacceptable burden in cost, manpower, mission reliability, and operational availability to the fleet, which I suppose is bureaucraties for the following: too much money, too many lives lost, too much repair and maintenance, and beyond that, we're not sure that these aircraft can do the job that they're supposed to do.
Phil Coyle has not flown in a V-22 with one Marine.
You sure?
He's not going to be the one that we're going to send to rescue those Americans trapped in one of our embassies overseas. He's not going to be there. He's a good pencil pusher. He's a good person to work the numbers. I'm going to trust the person who's responsible from his reputation for the lives of those people that we asked to go into the worst possible hostile environments. General McCorkle, a dedicated, why don't you quote him, Mike? He's no armchair pencil pusher.
Curt Weldon also calls Lawrence Korb a pencil pusher. But Korb is a former Navy pilot who knows the Osprey and says it's just too complex for what the Marines wanted to do.
Basically, the technology is so complicated, there's so little room for error. And the tragedy of this is, given the fact that the world is a much calmer place, we don't have the Cold War, there's no reason to rush into this type of production.
Some charge that the rush into production